Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us.
Oh, so you must have had good sleep last night.
Just the two of us.
You must have had great sleep.
If you are fighting against exhaustion, everyone assumes you've had a good night's sleep.
This is what we're going to be talking about today: the competitiveness around sleep, and are sleep apps and sleep watches really helping us, or are they hindering us?
Well, on that, I won't tell you what my sleep app tells me from last night, but I'll tell you later.
We're also going to be talking about, though I don't really want to talk about it, the Strictly Grope drama, because here we go, loads of bloody red meat in the papers to distract us from what's actually going on in the world. But
it's not.
But Mark wants to do a bit of a spin-off from it.
Well, not even a spin-off.
Around joking and sexism. And,
yes. I want to talk about how they've explained it away and what that says about maleness and all that kind of stuff.
We're also going to be talking about what I felt was an absolute disgrace yesterday with the racist news coverage, in my opinion, over Gaza. I was actually in tears last night. I was properly crying in my bed with total frustration at being unable to see our way out of this mess. And as Mark says, racism by omission is can be the most aggressive form sometimes, because we just didn't say it.
Precisely, exactly. And it's a very clever, and we'll talk about that. Racist news coverage. Obviously, we're talking specifically about the Gaza and Lebanon coverage that's happening there. We're going to talk, we've talked about sleep perfection. We're going to talk about the government suggesting that Ozempic is the way to get people back to work.
Well, actually, it's something that apparently is even better than Ozempic.
Oh!
And I need you to help me with something, actually, because it was the wordage and I wasn't too sure of it.
Which wordage?
I forgot. I was going to ask you beforehand.
But do I have the right article for the wordage, though? Which wordage from where?
Well, darling, stop going completely hysterical. Calm
I've
down.
got the right stories, and now you're saying wordage.
What you are watching now, right? This, in action, hang on. Is a perfectionist, right? So, like, if I was going to be asked about dinner, I'd go, I don't know. But Mark now, oh my God, yeah, his temperature is up. I mean, it's a lovely quality because you like to do everything 100%.
What's fucking annoying is you always throw in a spanner at the last minute. Then you say, you do this thing, you go, can you pull the clip? And I'm like, I haven't got the fucking clip.
No, it's not a clip. It's about the finances. I couldn't understand what they were saying with these billions with this new weight trog, but we'll get there.
Right, okay.
So what do we want to start with?
I think we should start with the inherent racism of news, and then we can move lighter. I think we should start tough and move lighter. For those of you who are new, hardly any of you are, but for those of you who are new, obviously we have made it a point of talking at great length and in great detail about the huge iniquities and unfairnesses around the coverage of the Gazan, Lebanon, Israel's genocide against the Palestinians. It's clearly a genocide.
Oh my God. I mean, everybody is saying it now. I mean, there's no more like dancing around the word. It is a genocide.
Yeah, everyone got hysterical about the word ceasefire. Then they got hysterical about the word genocide.
Do you remember when I first asked for a ceasefire and everyone said I was
you were a terrorist? I mean, it's quite.
And then when I was when I said genocide, well, I can't even tell you what happened the first time I said genocide. Maybe one day in the future.
Don't kill people, anti-Semite. What?
And we stopped sniping babies in the head.
Good God!
Good God!
I tell you what, we're also dealing with here is crass stupidity. Anyway, I was out last night and I saw that you'd posted a story or reposted some footage. And this is Kay Burley on Sky News. Shall I just show the clip?
I wonder if we should do it in the order that I posted them, because I saw the Sky one after I. Oh no, maybe not. Put Sky first.
I haven't got that one. So let me play.
You've got the one with me, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, but about the boy.
Yeah.
I think you need to let's hear how they covered the death of 4 IDF soldiers.
Soldiers that died have now been named. All of them were just 19 years old. They are Sergeant Omri Tamari. In addition to that, Sergeant Yosef Hieb, Sergeant Yoav Agmon, and Sergeant Alon Amite. As I said, all 4 of them, just
19 years old.
All 4 of them. Now, any death is a sad death, but these are these
Sorry,
men
I can't.
are in the army. They're in the IDF. They are part of an occupying army. They are occupying Gaza. They're moving into Lebanon. Iran sent a targeted bomb, I don't know how you describe what it was, to a military area, and these people were sadly killed. Hezbollah. And these people were sadly killed. Okay? How come not a single name has been given to a Palestinian baby, child, man, woman, innocent, not military, innocent? Never. The solemnity that was given when we have the figures, when we have the videos, when we have so many doctors from around the world telling us what is happening to these children. They'll give us names, but those names are never said. And do you know why? Because we mustn't think of Palestinians as humans. We mustn't think of those children and those babies and those men and women that are innocent as having a life, a home, dreams, a job, a family, right? We must not think of them like that, because if we think of them like that, we will rise up and we will say, not in our name. Stop sending the parts, Keir Starmer, for the F-35s that are blowing these people to smithereens.
No.
So why Palestinians don't have names is because there is a genocide and an ethnic cleansing happening right now in full view. And as Mark says, quite rightly, in a court of law, I would lose because Sky would say, we weren't racist.
Yes.
We were just saying the names of the soldiers. It's by omission.
So
you forget to make these other people humans too. These 4 men were humans, absolutely. And it's always tragic when somebody else. And I feel for their family, but I also feel for the 100,000 as well that have lost.
And also, the other more troubling aspect of this, Michi makes the point that the IDF do press releases of all information to news wires.
Exactly. No, that's part of what I was going to say, Michi. This is lazy fucking journalism, because what you have to say at the end, when you give news from the IDF, you have to say, and just to make clear again to our viewers, Israel has disallowed any of our journalists to be in Israel. The only journalists, the only information that we get is directly from the IDF. Can you imagine? Can you imagine them giving the same respect to the Palestinian journalists that are putting their lives at risk every single day and taking one bit of information from them? Why have they not got the same respect as Palestinian journalists? Skin colour.
So, absolutely, it speaks to the solemnity. It's a fake solemnity anyway. Let's put it that way. From Gay Burley,
none of them give a shit about anyone.
No, they just give a shit about headlines. So a fake solemnity, but a solemnity nonetheless that's presented and broadcast to the public with zero personalisation or individuality afforded to a single casualty on the Palestinian or the Lebanon side. And this is a strategy. This is a strategy to, by omission, keep the vast majority of the British public, the Western public, thinking that most people being hit here are terrorists, are deserving, and we're going to show you another clip in a minute, which Owen Jones talks about, which is another clip, again, from Sky News. And it's the way in which we've talked about this many times at the beginning of this year-long horror, which has been going on for 76, 75 years. The idea that Israelis get killed, but Palestinians somehow just accidentally die.
Unalived. We've actually heard the word unalived.
Yeah, somehow they die. But in this report that we're about to show you now, bizarrely, even if a Palestinian girl is a child, they'll elevate her to the level of a lady because they can't literally tell the truth.
But also the thing is, Mark, it's dire laziness. They're just taking what the IDF give them as the truth. They never say not verified.
Yeah.
We're
Well,
unable to
yeah.
verify. Well, they're unable to verify because
To be
they're
honest
not
with you,
there.
if you read into some, I mean, again, I'm not suggesting in any way, shape, or form that the Guardian's got it perfectly right, but the Guardian does use the same line when it says, according to the Palestinian Health Authority, and they say according to the Israeli government figures.
Yes. Because Israel disallows
Yeah.
any international press in unless they are the total ball-sucking kind that will be taken around to chosen spots by the IDF and then spew out exactly what the IDF is.
Let's not forget, Murdoch wants the world to think that there are savages on this planet that have zero capacity to fight for themselves.
That's my father. Thank you very much.
But there's a barbarism, and if you're in an IDF suit with a well-equipped rifle from the USA and you shoot into the head of a child,
you're not a barbarian.
No, you're not. You're not a barbarian, but also the world's media will say it's a stray bullet.
And voila, here we go. Let's have a look at the
checkpoint. You can see a car going through and ramming some of the police that were actually manning that checkpoint. The video we're going to freeze shortly, but the two people, a man and a woman in the car. Subsequently, they were killed by the police, but it looks like accidentally a stray bullet found its way into the van ahead, and that killed a 3 or 4 year old young lady. So tragic events in the West Bank.
Hang on,
in that checkpoint. The video
lady.
We're going to freeze shortly, but the two people, a man and a woman in the car. Subsequently, they were killed by the police, but it looks like accidentally a stray bullet found its way into the van ahead, and that killed a 3 or 4 year old young lady.
And he was unchallenged with that. Now, so yesterday, all day, all we heard was the teenagers, the 19-year-old teenage IDF soldiers. Who in the world calls a 3 to 4 year old child a young lady?
Contact Ofcom now. Honestly,
it's outrageous.
It's an absolute
this was a while back. This was months back. This one, but there's many are being manipulated into dehumanizing.
There are more stray bullets,
and now the Lebanese.
There are more stray bullets coming out of Israel than anywhere else on the planet. Nearly every single stray bullet on the planet is weirdly coming out. Being ironic. They're not stray. These guys are highly trained, professional snipers.
They need to look at their training if there's this many stray bullets going through the heads of children.
Anyway, so Nadia, and I thought your post last night was deeply moving. This is the boy.
We didn't show the video yesterday of the bodies being burnt alive because. But this is the young lad the photo that got the young lad. Guess what? Guess how old he is? The exact same age as those teenage IDF soldiers, 19. His name is Shaban. And he was at university studying software engineering. He had learnt the whole Quran off by heart, and his mum used to tell everybody she met because she was so unbelievably proud of him. He looked after his brothers and his sisters. In the video that I watched him talking about that, I assume that was because his father had been killed or martyred, as they say, in Palestine, and that he was responsible now. His university had been blown to bits, his school had been blown to bits, and on Sunday night, with an IV still in his arm, he was burnt to death. His mother also died that night, so who knows where his siblings are. Shaban Al-Douf, 19 years old, software engineer student.
Oh my God, hats off to the Instagram account that has posted Shaban here, as he should be seen. His photo would have been passed all around the world today, him being burnt alive with his IV drip still in. And by tomorrow morning, everyone will have fucking forgotten about him, won't they? Well, don't. Here he is. Shaban, apparently, Apparently, he learnt the whole of the Quran off by heart, and his mum was so proud of him, she told everyone that she met. He's just a boy. How many more?
Can I just say that even baked into that, okay, so, something as sensitive and as meaningful as having sort of learned, the Quran.
Do you know what that takes?
But everyone in the West will see that as radicalized.
Yeah.
People have such
what bloody Muslim.
Yeah.
Oh,
Someone
I
who's
see.
kind of memorized the Bible, not the same. This is pure racism. Can I just read
Incredible brain.
Reese has said here, adultification to reduce the sympathy of Palestinians. They do it all the time towards black people, as in to completely lay the accountability of the demise on the victim rather than the circumstance.
Exactly, Reese. Look at all the young black boys that were taken, that were put into the bloody lining up for the electric chair.
Faith Goodman drawing huge parallels.
Children.
Faith Goodman drawing huge parallels. I'm not going to read it out word for word, but you can read it for yourselves. Drawing huge parallels between what Netanyahu was doing and other moments in recent history. This is gross negligence. This is gross journalistic negligence of the highest disorder. We have craven, crusty, journalistic nonsense, sycophantic, inaccurate, suppurating, feigning neutrality, feigning objectivity,
such a
only responding, as you rightly say, Michoud, to press releases, who then, as you rightly also say, Israel will then lean on that broadcaster for not reporting or not covering.
So
the pressure groups, the Palestinians don't have the same extent or the same level of pressure groups or ability or money or infrastructure. They're you know why? Because they're busy surviving. One of the other things that strikes me as so curious about this whole conflict is the way in which Israel still seeks to draw an equivalence between what's going on with what's going on. More and more civilians die on the other side. Fewer and fewer civilians die on the Israeli side. This isn't an equivalent conflict. There isn't an equation here that draws an equivalence. You have a nuclear power armed to the hilt to the tune of tens of billions of dollars, killing. They've got the most precise, and here's the really, really interesting detail. You've got Israel, who has precision targeting like no other on the planet, killing huge swathes of innocent civilian populations. You then have, if you believe the reports, incredibly rudimentary weaponry coming from Hezbollah, hitting when it hits, and from Iran hitting when it hits only military targets. So isn't it curious that the most precise weaponed, precisely most technologically advanced army in the world is killing so many civilians, whilst the most rudimentary, terrorist organization, Hezbollah, is managing to hit military targets? It's curious, isn't it?
Wow, they're not even hiding it.
No. But what I'm trying to say is there is no equivalence here. There is
Israel
no
aren't even
equivalence.
hiding it now. That nothing has got into northern Gaza for the last 2 weeks. No food, no medication, no nothing. They're literally starving. The doctors say all we can do now is look into their eyes as they die. Painful, awful deaths. The burns from the other day. Can you imagine? And Netanyahu has said it. It's like the colonels have written it. They've handed the paper to him. The next stage is anybody that stays in northern Gaza now will be seen as a military target and can be shot dead. They have nowhere to go. They're not military, but they have nowhere to go. So we know there's no even slight hiding it anymore, is there? And David Lammy came out very strongly about sanctions on Iran, where nothing's still to say.
So 15 hours ago, the UK, France, Germany and Italy condemned the threats to UNIFIL's, which is the United Nations Security. Attacks against UNIFIL must stop immediately. All parties have an obligation to protect peacekeepers. So finally,
that's
Lammy,
it. And that's
Lammy
it. Well,
has
there's not in the strongest terms. Nothing's in the strongest terms, is it?
No, absolutely. Natasha, I just want to quickly read your comment. Israel are also really portraying themselves as the victim. I came across a place yesterday that makes out the world isn't reporting things fairly and making them look bad.
Even.
Ultimate narcissism. Natasha, the narcissistic
the IDF.
It is a narcissistic teenager.
Yesterday, I was seeing a video of IDF, and I said, and it was some young IDF women, and they were like, they'd made a mound of sand, and they were pretending that they were little old Palestinian women. She was climbing the hill, and she was going like, and they were all laughing, and then she was falling in the sand and doing mock crying, and I was like, who's bringing these people up? If that was my daughter, I would be so disgusted. I would see myself as such a failure that my daughter is taking the piss out of an old and frail woman running frightened from bombs over sand with everything that she owns in a carrier bag. So they do a fantastic job of their own publicity. There are 3 or 4 films now that have been made simply using the IDF, the Army's videos that they've put out on TikTok, dressing up in girls' clothes, like pissing round the apartments that people have left, raiding their food, cracking open their safes and taking their money. Every single thing. They've posted it themselves.
But as people are saying, if you talk about this footage, there are many Israeli groups that will just say it's AI, it's CGI, it's fake.
What I love is that a brilliant documentary maker has made a film with them and has got every one of their numbers and their colonel this and their sergeant that. They can't. You ain't going to win it because it's all saved. When we get to the international courts in 10 or 20 or 30 years' time, old men in their wheelchairs will be held accountable for this genocide.
Hang on a minute. I saw a post on X by Sky News about Iran's missiles against Israel, but the images of Gaza burning, no shame.
Thank you, Farida. This is what Owen Jones was saying.
Yeah.
He showed it.
Yeah.
So they talked about the appalling and then they accidentally, it's a bit like when Justin Bieber said, pray for Israel, and showed a shot of Gaza razed to the ground.
Yeah.
Thank you, Farida. It's exactly the same as that Sky News did yesterday.
I hate to say, I know you and Dina are very confident that eventually, I hate to say it, I think what is happening now is we are in the process of the airbrushing of history. And the reason we are greeted with such glacial periods of silence from leaders in the West is that the less that they say about it, the less there is historical documents to record
but history
it.
Historical documenting doesn't work in the same way anymore.
The very institutions created to prevent a repeat of what happened in World War II have been destroyed, UN, have been emaciated, ICJ. Have been questioned, challenged. The Israelis are trying to suggest that the UN is entirely compromised. They're not sitting there saying, hang on a minute, an international objective body has said we're bad, we're wrong, we are overstepping the mark, we are illegal. No, the UN is wrong, and in America and Britain's tacit support of this, I'm telling you right now, I don't agree. As a historian, having studied history, we are watching something much more serious than what happened after World War II when the horrors and atrocities fully came out. What we're watching now is the live destruction and the live process of removing
everything
coverage.
That keeps the world safe.
The reason Israel doesn't want these pesky United Nations peacekeepers in Lebanon is they need total control of the narrative. Mm-hmm. Total control of the narrative, so that the history books have no. I remember about 20 years ago, there were many occasions where the Israelis would go in and they would what they call mow the lawn in Gaza. In those days, in the 90s and the 2000s, United Nations, there would be an outcry. The international community would say, send an objective observer in. Yep. They would go in, they would analyze the debris. So much has happened now. There's nothing to analyze. Nothing will be proven. I'm promising you.
Except the millions of people across the world, not the leaders, but the millions of people across the world that are outraged and disgusted,
and let me tell you how
and have shared the videos and have saved the videos and have made their own records for the history books that will be very different kind of.
And do you want me to explain how the powers that be are going to manage that? By encouraging a bigger and bigger conflict, so it gets forgotten.
Swallowed.
I'm promising you.
Well, like nuclear war with Iran.
This is not conspiracy theories. The reason the conflict runs the risk of getting bigger is that the bigger the conflict becomes, think of the red meat analogy in politics at the largest level. Fully engage Iran, you can already see it and feel it. Iran and Hezbollah have hit military targets. The West are desperate. Desperate for an experience of barbarism in their response so that they can go in hard. They're doing it anyway. Yeah. Everyone came out as quick as a flash about Iran firing at a military installation. It has taken days and days for Lamy to come out and comment on Netanyahu essentially declaring war on the United Nations.
So that's for military people. But in fact, when British charity workers and health workers were killed, nothing was done. But these 4 military people, and my God, all hell, it just shows you they're just sitting there salivating, waiting for this.
Absolutely.
And we're all caught up in it, because in our thousands, in our millions, we're all Palestinians. What that means is what is happening out there is going to impact on all of us. That's why it's so important that we don't fucking shut up about it.
Okay, moving on to less serious matters, but could they be serious matters? What do you all make of this shocking, as the Sun's reporting, shocking footage from Strictly? Watch his hand. And watch it again in case you missed it. Now, they were called in, they were told off, they claimed it was a joke, it was a bit of... I can't even see the level of the joke. What happened there, Nads? What is going on? Why does the world care?
I don't know.
All the papers are talking about the furious BBC bosses haul in Strictly's Wid Evans and Katya Jones after grope shock to try and draw a line after scandals. Now, I think the suggestion here is, and the reason I thought this might be interesting, on the same day that Greg Wallace is being done for suggesting, for using sexist jokes or telling sexist jokes, he came online yesterday saying this is an old story, I was found innocent. Since then, interestingly, John Turot's wife has come on and said he told sexist joke after sexist joke after sexist joke on set. So
which wife? Not his wife now.
Yeah. It's in the papers today.
Oh.
She came out and said there was, I just wanted to almost turn off my ears. I couldn't bear another sexist joke from Greg Wallace. So at what point is a bit of sexist... Toffee, come here. At what point is a bit of sexist... Is this sexist? Was this controlling? Has the world gone mad? Have we lost the plot? Or are there, in these microaggressions, still examples of male control?
Somebody there saying the high five was the joke. Have we missed something here with this story?
I don't think it was a joke. Why would you do such a joke? I didn't see I didn't know. That's not the clip that's been shown anywhere else.
Sorry. I just I read an article, I think it's a columnist saying that she was at, who was it? That she was at the live event. Right. And she said, I saw it and it was 100% a joke and it was nothing, because there is no way that whoever the dancer was would have jumped up in the way that she did and wrapped her legs around him at the end of the dance and da-da-da. Well, totally aside, because God knows what's happened or whether this is a joke or whether he's done something creepy or hasn't, because I just don't know. None of us know. But what I would say is that just because she jumped up and put her legs around him doesn't mean that nothing at all could have happened.
No.
This is where we get all messed up with this. Oh, but the woman was laughing and joking. Oh, that she had a glass of wine. Oh, da-da-da-da. They could be the best of friends, these two, and they've never had a single moment of anything unpleasant. But just because she jumped up in the dance and put her legs around him doesn't mean.
Yeah, otherwise, I saw that piece. When I read that and whoever was writing it said, oh, she was, I thought that's a little bit like saying she kissed him, you asked for it.
No, it wasn't that she asked for it. It was saying that there's no ways you could have done that if you thought it was a quick. These are people that have no idea what show business is like. This business we call show, because I've worked with some really nasty fuckers and some sexist bastards and some thoroughly unpleasant sexist men. But am I going to show that when I'm out there on camera with them?
No, of course.
Of course I'm not. I'm going to be smiling with them. If he does a bit of that, I'm going to do a bit of that, because that's what you have to do. You can't negate any possibilities of anything. If there's been
for saying you had nothing to say about this, you've got lots. No, that's good. But is that wrong? She's moved his hand. We'll never know.
How do we know? It doesn't look like that.
No, I know, but is a hand around there quite personal?
Well, I wouldn't want somebody to put their hand on my stomach, but this is dancers.
Well, I was going to say,
it's like when I did the ice dancing. You do hold on to each other all the time because you can fall off your ice skates.
Dancing on knives.
And the thing is, if she has said that she had no problem with it, why do we have a problem with it?
I know. Well, because the BBC are on like a cat on a hot tin roof, aren't they? Because everyone's been just naughty.
That's all because they've treated Amanda Abbington appallingly, and they're just trying to look like they're so perfect now, in my opinion.
I fucking hate Strictly.
Having spoken to Amanda privately.
I find it really annoying.
I just think... Wow. Oh, wow. You're really on it now, BBC. The girl's not even said there's a problem.
No.
She said,
true.
oh, we were just
We're having a laugh. Having a laugh. Okay, let's talk about, just quickly, Wes Streeting has announced that Ozempic is going to be given to people who are out of work, or could be given to people out of work. The Health Secretary said widening waistbands were placing a burden on the NHS, getting people thin. The government have announced a £279 million investment in the.
Now, this is what I didn't understand, Mark, from Lilly.
Oh, yeah, from Lilly.
So and that's the company. And it's not Ozempic.
No.
It's a different thing. Now,
that's very confusing. Streeting's suggestion comes as the government announced basically £350 million investment from Lilly,
the world's largest pharmaceutical
company. Hang on a minute. Can I just say, so this is so complicated on so many different levels. You can't solve issues like obesity, addiction, or anything by simply just injecting something. There will be payback somewhere. B, are we not just looking at Big Pharma taking a great big greedy bite into government policy? Have we tested this technology? There are reports coming through around most weight loss drugs that are as worrying and worrisome as the early research that's coming through from vaping.
So there is no long-term research on Ozempic and these. There is no long-term. Whoever's taking it now, you are the long-term research.
Precisely,
because there's been none.
I don't think a government can do this.
So now we've got a new drug, because it's not going to be Ozempic. It's something else. Someone just said it's called But I don't understand. What I can't understand is this what the government is paying?
No, it looks like this is an investment into the NHS that Lilly will do. A study by Health Innovation Manchester and Lilly will examine whether being put on the drugs will reduce worklessness and the impact on NHS service use, and will take place in Greater Manchester. I think basically this is a project in conjunction with a private company,
with a pharmaceutical,
and the pharmaceutical company sees so much mileage in this, it's willing to stump up £350 million to basically do the research to see if this is something worth following. Of course, a healthier population is going to be able to work more freely. But I just think this speaks to, and you said your friend Dance Your Tits Off was saying this, you can't solve, I think there's this really mistaken thought that you can solve physical issues without catering for the mental health
It's exactly like
context.
This, okay. So somebody is an alcoholic. They're drinking loads and loads of booze, and a pharmaceutical comes along and says, oh, take this pill. Just going to have it for 5 years, because I think it's the 5-year thing, and you're not going to drink for 5 years. Okay. What happens, because I know very well about white knuckling. White knuckling is when you take away the alcohol, but the person's issues as to why they drank are still there. And actually, it can be worse. It can be worse than the alcoholic actually drinking, because it's this kind of they're holding on. So there are lots of different reasons why people overeat, right? And it can be ADHD with some people, compulsive overeating. It can be deep depression. Trauma. Often it can be people that have, not often, but there's certainly a lot of research out there for people that have suffered abuse as children, and they will comfort eat and overeat to keep distance from other. There are so many different reasons why people are overweight. There are people that are overweight because they just had such a shit fucking upbringing, like through generations, where there's no education about what good food is, where, it's processed food, and you can be, as I've said many times on here before, you can be obese and be starving because you're nutrient deficient. And if you're nutrient deficient, whether you're large or whether you're skinny, your brain can't work, you're not energized, you've got brain fog, you've got depression, you've got low mood, you've got all of these things. You give somebody an injection that still has all of those problems, right? And you reduce, and they found this a lot with Ozempic. People have very quickly reduced their food to almost nothing, and they've had sped up aging because they've lost so much muscle tone because they're just not hungry. There's not enough
proof of anything.
So until we look The
And
thing is, it's too,
there are genetic
and
conditions
there's
too,
genetic
Lorna.
conditions as well. And the thing is, well, I suppose genetic condition, not everybody would get this drug. But what I take umbrage with is the suggestion in all the headlines that what we need this for our economy. Now, obesity costs the NHS a fortune. It's a fact.
Well, no, hang on. Obesity costs the NHS as much as, if not slightly more than alcohol, but the revenue that's got from alcohol far exceeds the rent. So when you look at the actual
so the balance chart
revenue,
isn't working. So increased risk of stroke, heart attack, cancer, diabetes, all these things that come along with obesity. So I'm in huge favour of supporting people to get their weight down to a healthier weight. And if things like fasting, supported fasting, a short spurt on some sort of a drug, could be this injection or something, where you can give people the incentive where they get there, but unless it is running parallel with real re-education
can I just say,
and some sort of therapy, what's going to happen afterwards?
Well, no, absolutely. I think this is profoundly worrying. And I think that what's happened with the Labour Party here is that because they're being offered £1/3 of £1 billion worth of research and potential support, they're reaching for it because economically for them, it's like, well, we ain't got £1/3 of £1 billion to throw anything. We'll have it. But the problem here is this. You need that £1/3 of £1 billion going into mental health treatment and into the mental health reasoning and the social care and the social injustices and discrepancies in society. First, you need to go to the grassroots, because all you're going to end up with is a system here. I can't believe that we, since COVID, have become even more trigger happy at just pop it in, take it. Have we learned nothing from the fact that if you put a financial incentive within any health operation, you are going to end up having things that aren't necessarily good for you, but are good for the economy? I think the priorities are all wrong.
I've lost. Oh, that was Farida. The thing is as well. It's the
thin but depressed person is not going to be that great for the economy. We need to get what you're going to get is lots of thin people who are suicidal. Sorry,
that's a bit extreme.
Well, no. But hang on. Studies have shown an increase in suicide ideation in numerous people who are taking weight loss drugs. Recent research has shown that.
Yeah. It needs also, because I don't really understand this money. So they're going to come and they're going to do their research on British
in Manchester
people, right? So they're going to come, and what that means, I'm thinking is we're going to give away like £250 million of this drug or whatever it is, so that we can research it. Is that right?
No, they're
guinea pig it.
It's very unclear. I imagine that they are literally offering the government £1/3 of £1 billion's worth of research.
So this would be my question, because with my campaign for Enhertu, so all this research was done and the research was found to be like really, brilliant. And this drug Enhertu is fantastic. And yes, it extends life for women with secondary breast cancer. And then when NICE and NHS England had to pay for it, they went, no, let's just shift this over there. We'll just say that secondary breast cancer is a moderate disease instead of a severe one, so we don't actually have to give this to anybody. That's what worries me. It's like they could come in with this research, and then when they're, come on, pay the bill, come on, where's the money? Which is what's going to happen from the pharmaceuticals. They don't give anything away for free. Are we then going to be left with, oh no, we've decided that the NHS can't afford this?
You are absolutely right. This is a big pharma bear trap. What they're going to do,
because it's not very clear, the report. So we are left to
No. But this is clearly what it's going to be. They're going to get results. We know the drugs make people lose weight, but we cannot. And no one, the pharma company is not going to be researching the mental state of everyone that they inject. I can promise you that. They're going to get the results they want to sell their gear. And once they get the results, the government are going to look to them and go, wow, you spent £1/3 of £1 billion on something that potentially provides a short-term solution. The short-termism in everything. Do you know what? I'm sorry, I just have to say it. I am gobsmacked by the increasing stupidity of everyone running all of our countries. They are all fucking stupid. They are moronic. They are short-sighted. They are challenged in the mental department. These are such short-termist nonsense in order to try and kind of win over curry favours.
What happens in 5 years' time?
Oh,
because they'll want to be paid then, won't they? I mean, we're not sure. This money thing seems very
Okay.
vague.
Finally, we're going to leave sleep perfection. Why is this man in the news?
I don't think we can leave sleep perfection because we've talked about it
Okay,
a lot.
but just quickly, I just need to be taken
Conker
out.
champion.
Yeah, but he's caused a controversy.
Why?
They found him leaving, having won the Conker Championships with a steel chestnut in his pocket. Yeah.
You are
The
kidding me.
Conker cheating row as men's champion was found leaving with steel chestnut in his pocket.
Oh my God.
There he is. What's the world come to? Look. Looking as innocent as...
The shame.
Look at that.
The absolute shame. Oh my God, how embarrassing. So somebody just didn't think it could do... And so what? Did they search it?
It's a shocker, isn't it? It's a shocker. The reason they searched him was because it got a little bit suspicious, because I love the beginning here. It said he's becoming... When he was searched after his victory, where he knocked a number of opponents out with just one hit. So he was smashing stuff
What a
up.
horrible man.
The retired engineer was found to have a metal replica
He looks
concealed
like a
in his
right
pocket.
bully. That's horrible.
To be fair, he denies using it, but why would you take a metal
Denies
conker?
using
Why would
it?
you take a metal
Oh,
conker?
please.
Outrageous. What a crook. Okay, final story. Sleeping. Sleep perfectionists. I like this. I don't know why. I thought this was funny. This was a piece in The Guardian, and it talks about something called orthosomnia, the exhausting rise of orthosomnia. And it strikes me that orthosomnia is a sort of the medical term for an unhealthy obsession with attaining perfect sleep. Me and Christos, we connect over our lack of sleep, don't we? But who else struggles?
Well, read this. So it starts with the other day. I was plodding away on the treadmill at the gym when I overheard two blokes chatting. Oh, I had a great night last night, said one. My ears pricked up. A juicy story. Scored 96. That's insane, his companion gasped. My average is 67 and I can't seem to get it much higher. But how's your HRV? Never checked that, but I know my REM score's been all over the place this week, and on and on. And this, you might be pleased with this, because long story short, this article basically says they've got 3 different sleep experts saying, just let it go.
Yeah.
Just let it go.
I must admit, I never look into the details of my sleep. Whenever Dina asks me about my sleep, she says, "How much REM did you get?"
Yeah.
And I never know what to say, because it doesn't say that.
But the thing is, what's that there?
Look at that. It looks alarming, doesn't it? That's
See,
my resting heart rate. It's gone off a cliff.
I stopped looking at my sleep patterns.
Yes.
Because it was really informing my whole day.
Yes.
You know, and really crystallized down to the core of it, what these 3 sleep experts say is, if you're tired, get more sleep.
Yeah.
And if you're looking, going, oh my God, I mean, I've seen people that I only get 9% deep sleep.
Oh, what does all that mean? I mean, that's what I got last night.
But you've always got around.
I got
that's
5
good for you.
5 hours 34. It seems to be my optimum. And what you can do is you can look over the last years, and mine has barely budged. It's been 5 hours 30 for the last 6 years.
Yeah, and I think what's happened with you is you've always managed on that sleep, but because you've become obsessed, and there's so many articles written about, no, but you would never not look at what sleep.
So look, that was my average for last week, is 5 hours 52. I mean, I always land on that.
See, you're doing the very thing that they're talking about.
Yeah.
That people start to get their things out, they start to show you, they get
but
their
look,
watches.
And there's my REM, and there's my light, and look, that at that point there is when Nadia farted. You always see where Nadia farts in the night, because I go. Ooh.
So, you know, the thing is, and like they said, you can't really track a person's sleep unless you're looking directly at brain activity with electrodes. So though this will give you a kind of good idea, it's like, what really are you searching for in there? You can't actually change your
searching for?
REM. You can't actually. It's just another thing for us to worry about.
I think it's different. I think there is a huge competitiveness. People like to say, I'm more tired than you. And the reason they go around thrusting this in your face is they go, see, I only got 4 hours. But look at me at 4 o'clock. I'm still going.
But you see, I have more respect for somebody that gets lots of sleep. I'm in awe.
Well, I'm off to bed.
I'm in awe of somebody that says, "Oh yeah, well, like lots of people I know would say to me, oh my God, you go to bed at midnight. Well, and you take your phone up. Well, my phone is plugged in downstairs.
You go to bed at 10.
At 10 o'clock. Most people I know could go to bed at 10
That's
o'clock.
boring as fucking shit.
But
Sorry, I don't know why.
Really was too much.
I'm sorry, everyone. I just want to read Christopher Cundall's note. Between my Apple Watch and Oura Ring, what is an Oura Ring? Sounds like something out of Star Trek. It gets addictive. With my nerve pain, I monitor it to compare with my sleep that night. You can become obsessed so easily, like the Apple workout rings.
Exactly. And I'm so sorry you have nerve pain, just horrendous. Somebody we know has just been diagnosed with fibromyalgia and rheumatoid arthritis. And I don't know how people with long-term pain, we are all such wusses here with pain, aren't we? I just don't know. I'm just in awe.
Erin Bullimore, too much deep sleep will be bad for you too, Mark. 5-ish hours sounds perfect. Faith Goodman, surely to obsess makes sleep worse, not relaxing. Sorry.
But with everybody, you are different. Like, you'll have a child. One child does really need 7 hours and another one is totally moody with only 10 hours. So again, it's like we always want to just have a compartment that we can put humans into. Yeah. And we're all individuals. So, I mean, it's like this Zoe app that we did. What works in my body, it's totally different with you, isn't it? You shouldn't be having like sugar. My body takes sugar quite well. I've got to watch fat. You can eat fat. We just don't know.
One of the most, just quickly before we sum up, one of the final things I would like to say about this, I do remember I used to always run with a Garmin, didn't I? And I remember you saying to me once, and if I didn't have my Garmin, I almost wouldn't run because it was like, it's pointless to run without a Garmin. I did a run without my Garmin for the first time years ago. And it was the one time that year I really enjoyed the run. That's why
there's so many people not running and recording now, because it's just like, if you see a run, it's just the time where you can just be out and not be thinking and not be competitive and just be in nature, rather than you could have a run and get to the end of it, go, oh God, I did that 3 minutes slower than I did last time. What does it matter? What does it matter?
Sorry, I can't get over the guy with the steel conker.
Right, now if you can just be quiet for a whole minute, that would be great.
Kept quiet for huge swathes.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, go on then.
That's what we're going with. So I'm not sure how long, but I know it's not very long at all left. Might even be till tonight or tomorrow, I'm not sure, of our prize draw for our In Her To campaign. Now, we are desperate to get to this figure so we can take the powers that be to court, so we can get this drug for women with secondary breast cancer. But also, I can't confirm this yet. We might be able to take it a bit further with something else that would affect a lot of other drugs, but I can't discuss that yet. But listen, this prize draw has literally a ludicrous amount of prizes. One of the prizes is Dina and I doing a Zoom cook-along with you and your friends, where we'll chat and have wine and cook, and that would be lovely. We've got Mark Hayes, the stylist from Lorraine, who is going to give a backstage tour, then take you over to Westfield and get you an outfit. Both Lisa and Simone, two makeup artists that are my friends, but also ITV makeup artists, are going to do a makeup. I think Lisa's got a bag of goodies to hand over as well. We've got 4 nights in a 5-star hotel in the Algarve. We've got short breaks in Norfolk and the Cotswolds. We've got a huge bag of goodies of makeup and stuff worth 600 quid. The list goes on and on. And also, we're now giving double the ticket. So if you spend £50 or £100, you're going to get double the. We can't say tickets. There's all kinds of rules and regulations.
A lot of people asking if can you do it from abroad? Because Christopher Cundall's saying says UK only, so don't want to cause any hassles.
I suppose because if you're abroad and you were to win the stylist one, how would you? Yeah. How would you get your? But I suppose if you've got a holiday or something, it would be a bit of a risk.
We'll look into
but you can also donate, guys. You can just donate. No or if you win something and it's not something you could use because you're abroad, we could maybe swap it for something else. Don't know. Don't know on that one. Just a note from my friends Hannah and Tits and Dance Tits Off and all the women actually that are part of this campaign. They wanted me to say a huge thank you for all the shared posts and you getting on board with so many different things. And they just wanted to say, as they often say to us, we've got the best followers and subscribers we have. A gourmet break at Meadows Manor, 2-night stay for 2 in the Stables Suite, situated on the English-Scottish border in Northumberland, with a 6-course tasting menu for 2 on one of those evenings, an afternoon tea, bed and breakfast. These are massive. Oh my God, this is a massive one. Ooh. Personal trainer session with celebrity trainer Jane Wake. You might have seen her over the years with on Lorraine. And plus access to all her classes and programs for 6 months. This is £1,000.
She used to make me sweat.
Yeah. Bespoke pet portrait.
Nice. A pet portrait.
Yeah. There's also something in here, I think, for wedding photos. They cost a fortune. The stylists, mother shoppers from Loose Women have also going to give themselves over to style someone and get an outfit. Their outfit's thrown in. These are extraordinary prizes, and we know if we could just get it out to more people, we would probably hit our target.
Yeah.
Because you don't get prize draws with this amount of amazing stuff.
And also, quite what I like about it too, it's not about show-offy cost. It's about really tailored, intimate, meaningful gifts as well, like a makeup session with Lisa or something like that. These are great. These are really nice.
Yeah. And if I've got any of them not slight right, nobody's going to take me to court, right? You're just going to click on the link and have a look if I haven't said the exact words. 4 nights, 5-star hotel. Yeah. So look, I mean, just that in itself, personal styling with Mark Hayes, backstage tour of Lorraine, followed by a shopping trip to Westfield for a work wardrobe, a wedding guest outfit. Mark will help you curate the perfect look for whatever it is you have in mind. Oh. Some of these prizes as well would be great. There's also another 2 VIP tickets for Loose Women. That means you jump the queue. I look after you and do photos with you in the audience. Lee will make a fuss of you. I'll get your coffee. Nice. I'd bring you up to the panel. You have a photograph with her. And of course, don't forget, me and Dean are in there for a Zoom. So anywhere in the world, you could win the Zoom.
Looking forward to the curly cuts.
So please, Mark is going to put the prize draw link. Now, when you look at that, you'll go, oh, have they only made 10 grand? But I think we might be up to 80 or 90 grand now.
Why did you just say 10 grand?
Because where the prize draws is, it's only the money that we've got for the prize draw.
Right, yeah, but if you go to the main, I'll put both links.
Yeah, but if you go to the main thing, I think we're at 80.
I'll put both links. I think one feeds into or is on top of the other.
So be a part of extending lives, and if we're able to do this wider campaign, it will be to save lives. Literally.
I was going to offer, and I got in too late, I was going to offer a real gallows humour kind of, someone was asking for like an editing course, that would have been nice. I was going to offer a pub crawl around Soho. I mean, me staying sober.
We should have said that at the beginning so we could have had time to do an auction. We don't want to put that in a raffle.
No, well, whatever. I don't know, auction. But I would have taken you out for a night out, and I'd have put you in a car and got you home. Too.
One of the auctions was me and the Fab Four to take somebody to lunch after Loose Women, and I think we got a couple of thousand somebody bid for that.
Nice. Oh, good.
Oh, obviously I've got to buy the lunch.
Yeah, of course. Can we just also say before we sign off, a happy birthday to Sazzy?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sazzy. Happy birthday to you. And if you know any filthy rich people that would just like to go, oh God, what, are you just like 20, 30 grand short? There you go, ping. We will love them forever.
What about just a filthy person?
Or a filthy... No, they've got to be rich.
Oh, okay. Just quickly, Ellery Jones, incredibly generous, sweet, 5 gifted memberships.
You.
Christopher Condell, incredibly generous too, 50
memberships.
Oh, bless you. And Christopher has said he's going to be donating, so that's incredibly kind of you.
Christopher.
So thank you so much.
So much love. And if
support.
You can't donate, just share, so that people, because you can buy 1 ticket, you can buy 100 tickets, you could do whatever. Please, it would be so lovely. Share.
Without showing addresses, a whole heap of cards are going out today. So you should get yours
to members.
All right.
Lots of love.
Have a lovely day. See you soon. Something will be landing later today. God only knows.